Hey, Mitch.
Oh, hey, Ed, what's up?
Hey, I thought we could go across the eighth dimension.
Why?
Well, so we can find some red lectroids, from planet 10 by way of the eighth dimension.
Oh, Ed, that's not real. Hey, by the way, nice big booty you got back there.
That's big booty, monkey boy.
Whatever.
Hey, hang on a second.
What?
Oh my God.
What?
Why is there a watermelon there? Hi, this is Ed Dollister.
And this is Mitch Halleck.
And welcome to another exciting episode of Mitch and Ed's Excellent Adventure. If it's your first time here, thanks for joining us and clicking on us. If you're a regular, or if you're a regular, maybe if you're a Blue Blazer regular,
maybe if you're an irregular.
Welcome. That's right. It's great to see you. And thank you especially to all our new subscribers that we've got over the past few weeks. So thanks for joining us. It's a real pleasure. Hey, Mitch, if you want to find out a little bit more or when our latest show is, what should you do?
Well, Ed, if you're a good, loyal viewer and you want to do something, this is as easy as crossing the eighth dimension by going through a car in through a side of a mountain by simply pressing the button on the bottom. Just smash away on that subscribe button. That's you out there. And then you will be one of our loyal followers and know every time Ed and I go on another spectacular, extraordinary, excellent adventure into TV, movies, and more. Where are we going today, Ed?
Well, we're signed, sealed, and delivered, and we are heading across the eighth dimension to the cult classic from 1984, The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. Did you see this in the movies? Were you one of the three people who saw
I was going to say, I was. There was nobody else in the theater, literally, with me. I saw opening day because I had read the book, which was an extraordinary experience because I'm like, wow, this doesn't make much sense. And then I saw the movie, and it didn't make much sense either, and nobody was in the theater but me, and I liked it.
I think that's
didn't last long.
I think a lot of people, there's a lot of love for this film. It didn't do well at all. It failed at the box office. People were exactly, I think, in your state of mind where they didn't really understand what the story was. Was it an action adventure? Was it a science fiction adventure? Was it a comedy? Was it a satire? Yes, it was all those things. I remember seeing it in the movies. And again, I don't think there was many people in there. It wasn't like when I saw Cutthroat Island on opening day and I was the only person in the theater, and it was a theater about the size of a toilet. So that didn't bode well for that movie, but it just, it didn't do well. But I just remember seeing it and going, this is unlike anything I've ever seen before. And then I sort of forgot about it, I think, a few years. And then it came out on VHS. And that's when I would rent it. And I think that's where a lot of people found their love, discovered it. Because what is Buckaroo Banzai? Who is Buckaroo Banzai?
Who is Buckaroo? That's actually the ad campaign. Funny you say that. I remember seeing the trailers. It said, "Who is Buckaroo Banzai?" And they showed like little quick cuts and all this. Actually, the most I learned about this movie, Leonard Nimoy, Mr. Spock, for all you Star Trek fans out there, he had a show on, I don't know if it was on the Kids Network or something like Nickelodeon. It was on a cable network. It was called Lights, Camera, Action. And it was like a half-hour show where they would show behind the scenes. Basically, it was just a bunch of movie trailers, and they would slap it together, and they'd have like these little making of stuff. And I remember they showed the making of Buckaroo Banzai, and they did an interview with John Lithgow and Christopher Lloyd and some of the other actors that were in the film. And they showed Lithgow in that makeup as, was it Emilio Lizardo? And he had the crazy hair, and he was just having a ball on the set. And he was like, this is one of the most unusual movies I ever did. And he had just come off of like Terms of Endearment and The World According to Garp, and he was Yoda on the Empire Strikes Back radio adaptation on the local public radio. So he was like a pretty decent, well-known actor in that time frame. And then Christopher Lloyd was in it, and he had just come off of Back to the Future, or maybe
he was about to do Back to the Future, but he had just come off Star Trek 3.
Yeah, The Search for Spock. Yeah. Plus, he was Taxi. He was Jim Ignatowski. So he was a well-known guy. I mean, you knew him from sight, too. And I'm like, okay, Peter Weller, I don't know who this guy is. So who's this Jeff Goldblum? I think I saw him in The Right Stuff, maybe. Or 10 Speed and Brown Shoe. So it really was a
I'm sure you would have remembered him from Thank God It's Friday.
Or I might have remembered him from that brief appearance in Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah, there's a link between Invasion of the Body Snatchers and, of course, Buckaroo Banzai, because W.D. Richter wrote the film adaptation of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and he was the director of Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah, there you go. And here you are. Is that what they say in the movie? Wherever you go. No, but I remember just seeing, like, who is Buckaroo Banzai? And it was like, okay, who is he? I mean, you didn't get any idea from that, like, question and, like, what exactly was going on. And then when I saw the movie, like I said, there wasn't a lot of people there. And I read the book, and I thought maybe it would make more sense when I saw the film. But it really didn't. And it wasn't a bad thing, but because it reminded me of this other movie with Ron Ely, who was Tarzan. It was called Doc Savage.
Yes.
And it was in the 70s. It was based on a pulp adventure novel from the 30s. It was this guy, Doc Savage. He was this brilliant scientist. Man of Bronze, right. He was an adventurer, and he had this like group of guys that were with him, and they'd go on these like world globe-trotting escapades trying to save the world from like evil scientists. So a lot of it reminded me of that, but it was more of an 80s chic thing, the way he dressed. He kind of dressed like you, and he had a weird bunch of guys with him. He had the
Hong Kong Cavaliers.
Yeah. The Hong Kong Cavaliers. That was his backup band, but it was also his little group of merry men that traveled him along. But yeah, no, I could not, honestly, even after all these years watching it again and again, and you know, it's fun. It's a good 90 minutes maybe. I don't even think it's 2 hours.
It's a little bit longer than that, I think. It's
but it's still not kind of quirky.
But it barrels along, you know, and it was, as you said, it was inspired a little bit by, you know, those pulp novels. You've got Buckaroo Banzai. He was originally Buckaroo Bandy by Earl Rauch, who created the character in the story. The story goes that W.D. Richter found Earl Rauch's novel. I think it was something like Dirty Pictures from the Prom was the novel, and he really enjoyed the book. And they got to talking, and basically it was saying, I've got this character, Buckaroo Bandy, and he had all these different stories. It was basically a series of stories, and he would do this one, you know, that involved Adolf Hitler's cigars. It would have the president says something like, you know, start up the jet car, and all these different stories, but they never would be finished. But they hunkered down, they met up. No one was interested in it. They created a new film studio to basically create this new adventure. W.D. Richter also wrote Invasion of the Body Snatchers. He co-wrote
Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
Which is, again, you know, we've done that on a previous episode, so you can, you know, click on the link above, and you can watch that episode if you're interested. It had that quirky sort of feel, and that pulp feel, where the Hong Kong Cavaliers were the band. Buckaroo Banzai was essentially I think they pitched him as a rock star, neurosurgeon, adventurer,
scientist, adventurer, car driver. Yeah, he was like a man of many talents, as Indiana Jones would be. Yeah.
And he was, you know, half American, half Japanese, played by Peter Weller. The cast is amazing. As you said, you know, you spoke about John Lithgow. You had Jeff Goldblum, Clancy Brown as Rawhide, Perfect Tommy. You had a whole...
Ellen Barkin. Ellen Barkin's the female lead in this movie.
She was Penny Pretty. Who happened to look exactly like Buckaroo's ex-wife, who had passed away. Wife. It was all a little bit confusing, and the story I think was really confusing, especially when
real life Martians were landing in New Jersey.
Holy Toledo! We will fire a portable beam weapon.
Vaporize the whole damn planet. we blow this today,
Get him up.
there ain't no tomorrow.
You found out that these lectroids from Planet 10 who were banished to the 8th dimension. That's how when Buckaroo is using his jet car, basically he goes through a mountain, as you said, and one of the electroids comes along for the ride with him.
Yeah.
You've got
But
yeah.
that was. But you go back, they do a flashback to the 30s, I think it was.
Yeah,
when there's
that was
John
a
Lithgow
deleted scene.
Yeah. Oh, that's a deleted scene?
Yeah, that's a deleted. So that wasn't in the original. In the original movie, they had a scene where you saw Buckaroo's parents. Jamie Lee Curtis played his mother.
Oh,
and she
I
was
heard that. Yeah,
and she was basically it's hard to tell, but it is her, and she was killed in an explosion when they were working on the jet car. As a result of that, she was killed by Hanoi Shan, who was the in charge of the World
leader
Crime
of the crime
League.
Legion of Crime. Yeah.
So the World Crime League at the very end, we're jumping all over, a bit like Buckaroo Banzai. But at the end of the film, you see, the next film will be Buckaroo Banzai against the World Crime League. And they decided to excise that opening scene. You can see it as on the Blu-ray as an additional scene, or they've added it in, I think, to that.
Yeah, they added in because the version I saw has John Lithgow's character, Emilio Lizardo, going on a chair and he gets stuck in a wall.
Yes.
And then you see him in the 8th dimension and they're all walking around and he gets possessed
by the leader of the red lectroids.
Yeah. So when he comes back, they think he went nuts and they put him in a mental hospital, but it's really because one of the aliens from the 8th dimension took over his body. That's what I always thought. And then wait, that wasn't in the original movie, maybe?
No.
Wow, then I was confused back then because I don't remember. I thought it wasn't.
Yeah, so they edited out all those references to Hanoi Shan because it wouldn't have made sense through it. They trimmed it a little bit, and they had hoped for a sequel at the end, but we all know how that worked out. But basically, what I really liked was that the story was that during Orson Welles' War of the Worlds broadcast, that was not a radio broadcast. It was actually the real thing.
That's right.
But the lectroids convinced Orson Welles to say it was a radio play. And I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Yeah. They got the Grover's Mill thing. Yeah, that's right. Wow.
So they tied everything in really well. They had also a real, what I felt like with Buckaroo Banzai is that it had such a rich history or lore to it that, you had obviously the Hong Kong Cavaliers. You also had the Blue Blazer Regulars, who are these
his youth brigade, his team brigade. They were like
which was pretty cool, and you got to see them used. The casting, as we said, was really amazing. Jonathan Lithgow, who was like out of the cabinet of Dr. Caligari, was so over the top, and just an amazing performance, I think. But everyone is at their best in that film, I think. There's Vincent Schiavelli, who's great, along with Christopher Lloyd. Tote from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Ron Lacey. Ron Lacey's the president of the United States. He's dubbed in this movie. Yeah.
But he looks and sounds like Orson Welles in this as well.
He does, because he doesn't sound anything like Tote from Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's why I'm like, that's that guy?
Yeah, it is. So, and they've got him in Traction as well, which,
Yeah, that kind of covered up a lot of stuff too. And
but the film is, it's certainly worth seeing, and the Blu-ray is quite good. You get a lot of information on it. There's those deleted scenes.
Here's the deal. What is the company? The Hit Factory?
Mm-hmm.
They did like a version of it a couple years ago. It's a pricey DVD to get. If you didn't buy this thing when it came out, they did like a special commemorative edition, and I went to look it up. It's like $60 to $100. This thing. It's like, it came out in a special packaging with like deleted scenes and like a little making of type of thing. And they did like I tried finding a copy of it. I had to go do a digital download to watch the movie off of Amazon. But I was like, are you kidding me? Buckaroo Banzai is that big? It's a cult movie. So it's like they did a limited pressing of the disc. They didn't do a lot of them. And no, it's actually a pretty expensive thing. And I knew it too, because being a comic book guy, they had the Marvel Super Special adaptation of it right there. And there's some pictures from the movie too. There's also, I think they did some regular comic book editions.
They did a two. Well, they did a
two-issue
for the run
series.
a 2-issue run for the movie, and you actually get to see the comic in the movie as well. You know, a different.
Oh, it's
version
too
of it.
funny. The artist, well, the writer is adapted by Bill Mantlo, who actually created Rocket Raccoon.
Oh,
Little known fact. Yeah, he's pretty good. He unfortunately got a horrible car accident. He's still around, but he's not. He doesn't have his faculties about him anymore. But anyway, Mark Texera, who lives right up the road from me in Danbury, I did not
there
know
it
that.
is.
He's the artist on this, and I'm like, I should get him to sign it because I see him all the time. And Elliot Brown, who's also the editor of the Indiana Jones
Elliot
series,
Brown, yes,
is on this thing. Yeah. Wow, there's a lengthy behind-the-scenes interview with Buckaroo Banzai director W.D. Richter in the back. I was like, I haven't looked at this honestly since like 1984, but this thing goes on and on. Look at this.
It's pretty good. Well, remember it was only 2-issue, a 2-comic special.
Yeah, but still,
so they had to
though, I
fill
mean,
it
this
out.
is they didn't do that for a lot of books. I mean, the Raiders book, and then they would do the Dark Crystal. They would just give you the book. They wouldn't have like,
That's right.
here's an interview with the thing. And there's the Buckaroo Banzai logo.
Yep, fantastic.
D&D.
And his bus.
And there's
I
their
love
tour
that bus.
Yeah. You know, I can see Buckaroo Banzai teaming up with Jack Burton. I don't know why no one hasn't done that for a comic book, but I'm just thinking that now going, they're so similar because they're that weird world that they inhabit and stuff.
Yes.
It's like you could see Kurt Russell bumping into
Peter Weller.
Buckaroo Banzai, Peter Weller, Dr. Peter Weller, by the way.
Yes.
He's got a doctorate degree in, I believe, art history. So
Uh-huh.
don't call him Mr.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, but it's a cool thing. And I remember that he had that rock concert there and he does that famous line,
No matter where you go, there you are.
wherever you go, there you are.
There you are.
Which a lot of people know that line, you know? It's like one of those things. It wasn't a big hit. It came out in August, if I recall. I'm trying to remember the movie. That was a great summer. You had Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. You had
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. You had, what was it? Was one of the Star Treks out?
Star
No.
Trek 3, I think.
Star Trek
was it?
3? Was that year? Yeah. No, 84 had something big that summer besides those movies. Maybe it was a Conan movie. Maybe it was Conan the Destroyer. Maybe it was James Bond.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Mad Max. No, that was 85.
That's 85. And View to a Kill was 85 as well. So
Silverado was that year. Anyway, 84. Well, hell, you had Temple of Doom. You didn't need anything else. There was some, maybe Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I don't know. There was a lot of movies going on then. So it was easily, you can see why it got lost in the shuffle because it was quirky. It didn't have a big box office following, and then it just disappeared. But you're right. It got saved on VHS. I remember being always at the rental store. You'd see Buckaroo Banzai there. I mean, and again, a lot of people are fans of this movie, so much so that writer, director, comedian, if you will, Kevin Smith, a couple years ago, was trying to do a reboot of the Buckaroo Banzai franchise, and he worked on it, and he was going to bring it to, I think, a TV series or something, only to find out that the rights were not the movie companies. They still belonged to Roush or Richter, one of them. So he did all this work and preliminary stuff, and he couldn't do it, which is a shame because I wouldn't mind seeing Buckaroo Banzai again. And
well, I know they were trying to actually get a movie, TV series on Fox prior to that, I believe.
That's it. Yeah.
And it was called Buckaroo Banzai, Ancient Mysteries and Hidden Secrets, or Ancient Secrets and Hidden
I don't remember that.
Mysteries. And they did a early CG sort of intro where the jet car saves the space shuttle from crashing. So it uses his jet car as the front landing gear, which is kind of cool. They've been trying to get
Where did you see that?
That is on the DVD that I have.
Oh, no, I didn't see that. No,
as a special feature. So I think that they've tried to, and it seems like it would be such right for today. Why haven't they got a series of it? They did. I don't know.
They
comics.
did. Well, they did a comic, Moonstone Press.
Yes,
Moonstone Comics. They did a Buckaroo Banzai limited series a couple years back, and it didn't do well. Again, Moonstone Press is not a huge publishing company. They get like Kolchak the Night Stalker and a couple obscure titles, but yeah, they tried, and Buckaroo didn't do a bit thing. And I'm going to say, even merchandise wise, I don't remember seeing any Buckaroo Banzai merchandise. I don't remember a trading card. The traditional, you always get a puzzle, you get a trading card, you get a
and a
T-shirt,
board game.
you get a board game. None of that. And
So I can tell you that they did
yes.
well, apart from the comic, so they didn't know how to market this film. You know, they
how about a video game?
There was a video game.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and it was a prequel video game where you had to stop a nuclear explosion, and you drive around in the jet car. It didn't do fantastic.
What was it on? Atari?
It wasn't Atari. I think it was like maybe Commodore 64.
Oh,
and
wow.
those sort of things. So it
wow.
it looks kind of fun. I'd certainly play it, but it wasn't you know, didn't set the world on fire.
Kind of like clunky. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think for the time it was a bit more of a text-based sort of a combination text-based adventure. But they didn't know how to market it. So what they did is they actually took clips and to Star Trek conventions because they thought, Star Trek people might be interested in this sort of film. So they do that, and they would give out the Team Banzai bandanas. Yeah. And those things are rare and worth quite a bit of money now. So
wow, I did not know.
So they did have that sort of merchandising, but nothing really, no action figures.
What about the poster? I mean, the cover is like this, but who did the poster? Was it like Drew Struzan?
Now I don't know, but it looks similar to that style. So
that photorealism artwork.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit sketchy, but I think. But it looks it has elements.
Sketchy as in like drawn, not sketchy as kind of like weird.
Not
sketchy.
That's right.
Not like keep away from that sketchy.
Yes, and I don't think it even had a soundtrack release. But Michael Boddicker, who did the score, he actually worked on Off the Wall, the 1979 Off the Wall.
I do know. Speaking of music,
guru.
It's got a great little theme song at the end. I mean, I can hear it in my head, that little whistle thing, and the whole cast comes down and they all start walking. That wasn't written yet. They were working on that song. So when you see them walking and marching in step, they're actually playing Billy Joel's Uptown Girl on giant speakers on the back of a pickup truck, and they're filming everybody walking. So if you put Billy Joel's Uptown Girl on during that scene, the steps match perfectly, like they're all in step to that movie. So
I thought that was such a great ending. And you know what really made me happy was that Rawhide was there, because Clancy Brown's character,
New Jersey, Rawhide, he died.
Jeff Goldblum's New Jersey. So I thought that he died.
I thought he died too. So why was he there?
I don't know, but I was just happy that he came back, because I thought he was a great character.
Who doesn't love Clancy Brown? He is on my list of guests for my Terrificon, Connecticut's Terrific Comic Con. I try to get him all the time. Once I got close, but they said he was busy. He is in everything. Okay, you think Jeff Goldblum's in everything? Clancy Brown is like everywhere. He's on SpongeBob SquarePants, Cowboys and Aliens. He's the Kurgan in Highlander, which we still got to do that movie.
Yeah,
we got to do Highlander.
Yeah, all of them, or just
the crappy? No, just the original, the good one.
Well, there can be only one, so fair enough.
Fair enough, yeah. But I'm going to tell you, here's why I think Buckaroo Banzai is a hit, because I told you a couple of weeks ago I was at the comic book store on New Comic Book Day, and there was a book sitting on the shelf, and I did a double take, and lo and behold, what was it but Buckaroo Banzai Against the World Crime League et al., a compendium of evil. And I'm sitting there, and it's written by the Reno Kid with E.M. Rausch, the original thing. So I was like, wait a minute, Buckaroo Banzai did a double take. But I'm going to have to actually read this because it's all words. There's no pictures in the damn thing. But that's not the thing. It's put out by Dark Horse Comics, which is a comic book company. Mm-hmm. It's hardcover. Go get it right now, kiddies. It's a good Christmas present. But when I posted that I saw this, I had so many responses and likes on Facebook and social media. People are like, where did you get that? I said, it just came out at the comic. Oh my God, that's Buckaroo Banzai. Yeah. This character has found his way into the heart of nerds everywhere over the last 30-something years. It's inexplicable. It's like, why? He only had that one movie and barely anyone saw it. But like you said, it lived on in cable and pay-per-views and VHS and DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff. People love the idea of Buckaroo Banzai. They love the whole idea of this like Renaissance man who's like you said, a scientist, a rock star, an adventurer, and he has all these cool dudes that hang out with him. You know, like New Jersey, you mentioned Jeff Goldblum. When he shows up because he wants to be a singer in the band, and he does like, you know, the hat, and he says he can also
the
dance
1950s cowboy look.
Yeah, the Cowboys. You're like, what the hell's he got on? But he wears it throughout the movie. And there's that great scene with the watermelon as they're in the lab looking for stuff, and you see a watermelon. And I always remember there's 2 lines I've used in my life in the last 33 actually from Buckaroo Banzai. Whenever there's a watermelon, I'll put it out on the counter, and my kids would be like, "What's that?" I go, "Don't touch that." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "That's because there's a watermelon in the middle of it." The other line, that now that you say they've changed the movie a bit, which I can't believe it, I got to go back because I remember Buckaroo Banzai coming into the room and he puts the glasses on and he can see the electroids. Yes. And he goes, evil from the 8th dimension.
Evil! Pure and simple from the 8th dimension!
That's the line I remember. But now it's evil from the 10th planet?
No. Later on, he says, you know, he said red electroids by way of planet. Red electroids from planet 10 by way of the 8th dimension.
See, I'm thinking, I don't know why, but I would remember that because whenever I would see stuff years ago, I'd go, evil from the 8th dimension. And people are like, what? I'm like, that's a Buckaroo Banzai thing. But now I went back and watched
that was 2 years before They Live. You know, that was...
that's true. The John Carpenter with the glasses, and you see it with the... Yeah.
And what's your third line that you use?
Oh, well, wherever you go, there you are. That's
you don't use... Don't tug on that. You don't know what it's attached to when he's doing the brain surgery on the Eskimo?
Not outside the bedroom, no. I don't know. I like Buckaroo. This is, again, when RoboCop comes around, it's I would go, hey, that's Buckaroo Banzai when he came out. As, you know, Dr. Peter Weller there as Alex Murphy. But what other things? Was he in anything else at the time? He was still a relative newcomer, wasn't he?
He was. The director saw him in a film and he thought he had a good sensibility. He had that, maybe that, you know, he could be all those things. He could be a rock star. I think the quote was something like, you know, he could still look tough when he's covered in grease and everything like that, you know, while he's doing that. And I thought he was perfect as Buckaroo Banzai. I really enjoyed his performance. And again, that ensemble cast of great
the effects
actors.
Are kind of wonky though. Now that I watch him, when they see at the end the ship goes off the blue screen when they're about to blow up the Earth and he saves the day and Buckaroo's coming down in the parachute.
Okay, well, the parachute maybe, but I actually think some of those effects, because they're very organic, those spaceships, they're not like what we would expect from an alien spaceship. They look like crab,
like a
crustaceans.
Crab.
But I thought those effects are pretty good. They still hold up. I thought, okay, you know, all the time. Maybe. Did you know that interesting fact that Buckaroo Banzai's band is pretty much made up of Billy Vera and the Beaters?
No. Am I supposed to?
I don't know. Did you know Billy Vera and the Beaters?
No, I led a sheltered life. Who's that?
So Billy Vera, he had the song, and the Beaters had the hit At This Moment from Family Ties. You know that love theme from Family Ties?
Yeah, I never watched it.
And he was Pinky Carruthers as one of his team.
Oh, yeah. Pinky gets whacked in the movie, doesn't he?
No, Pinky survives.
Oh, I thought Pinky got killed.
I think Pinky, yeah. Anyway. I'm pretty
who's
sure
the guy who's the I'm gonna call him the Italian gangster looking guy? Isn't that Pinky?
No.
He's
I think he's like a reddish hair and has a beard. Wears the beret.
Oh, that guy. But no, there's another slick looking character in the movie.
Is that
Reno,
Nevada? I think is
yeah. I was thinking he's like a Dean Martin type of guy.
Yeah,
like he wasn't like a gangster. Yeah.
It's such a good. Look. You know what is surprising? That Reaction hasn't made any.
I was going to ask you that, like, because I'm like, they always make figures of, you know, they did Jack Burton, they did Big Trouble in Little China, they do The Thing, they do all those obscure 80 cult movies. I'm like, no one's done a Buckaroo Banzai figure.
I wonder, because I know that I can't. If is it NECA or Nika who do those action figures?
Yeah, no, NECA.
They've just got the license to Peter Weller's face for RoboCop after all these years.
Well, you know what's odd too?
Mm-hmm.
There's no Funko Pop. a Buckaroo Banzai.
Yet
Come
you
on.
can get
You
so
get
many
Buckaroo,
others.
you can get a Funko Pop of everything, for God's sakes. You can
I
get a
know.
Howard the Duck, you know? We want one. Funko, if you're listening. Somebody would buy it. I'd buy it. I mean, look around
Yeah, I'd
me.
buy it. I'd buy it.
I mean, I have a Grinch mask back there.
You
The
do.
hell? I don't know why. Anyway, it's a fun movie. Watch it. I don't know how to describe it to people. If they've never seen it or heard of it, and you just pop it in, they might look at you odd, but they might get into it. It's kind of funky. It's kind of freaky.
I think it's great. It's a great fun ride, and it's worth. I think it's a film that benefits from multiple viewings. It
moves faster than I remember. I'll tell you that. When I watched it a couple weeks ago for the review, I was like, "It's over already?" Because I remember seeing it in the theaters, like, "What's going on?" But now I watch it, and it's like, boom, 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 boom. Maybe because I'm waiting for all the parts of the movie and it hits it. Because Christopher Lloyd's not in it as much as I thought. He's Big Booty. No. Big Booty.
Big Booty. Oh, the John Big Booty. John, what is it?
Not
John,
one more word out of you,
Big
Booty. And then he goes. And do you know if you watch that scene, you'll see John Lithgow break up?
Yes.
When Christopher Lloyd flips him the bird, watch Lithgow's face because you'll see him start to smile. He starts laughing. I think they cut away from it.
Yeah.
But he cracked up laughing on set.
It's a great film.
And Ellen Barkin, she's a cutie in this one.
Yeah,
she's not a cutie. If she's watching out there, hello, Miss Barkin.
Hello. Thanks for watching.
You. She was also in that Sea of Love.
Sorry?
Sea of Love with that Al Pacino.
Al Pacino, that's right. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth watching. You know what else is worth watching? Some of our past episodes. So how can you find out about those, Mitch?
Ed, it's as easy as, I don't know, starting your own band, being a neurosurgeon, a scientist, a race car driver, a man of many talents. All you have to do is sit there and smash that like button, that subscribe button. Get into it. Get down in there. Roll those hands up and hit that button and make it so Ed and I can justify why we do this every 2 weeks and our wives think we're insane.
That's
right. We're looking for YouTube gold, and you could help us out there. If you like the show, tell your friends. If you really like the show, send money. We need help. No, just hit the subscribe button. It's not hard.
As well, don't forget to write a comment.
We could have came on and just read the Wikipedia page like other shows do.
Yeah,
but we didn't. We gave you some entertainment. We both sat there and racked our brain-addled memories and tried
in my best Buckaroo Banzai costume. Yeah, so
I went and dug up a comic book. You know, I worked hard. You know, we were going to do a different opening with this sex toy, but we didn't do that.
Anyway,
you people don't know what goes on behind the scenes, so why not give?
That's right. You know, we need to do a Patreon where we just upload the raw footage.
We do. Then we would be giving money back to people.
We would.
That's it. Buckaroo Banzai, you go out there and you watch it today, right now. After you're done with this, go watch it.
Go into a like a concrete floodway and start walking in time. And that's right.
What was that all about?
I don't know, but I loved it. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Bye. That's Ed. I'm Mitch. We didn't say our names.
I know. This is Ed Dollister.
I'm Mitch Halleck.
And we'll see you next week. Bye.